Hi, welcome to the syllabus overview for the children's literature course. You want to make sure and read the syllabus in its entirety, but I just want to point out a few things. On this page you can see my contact information, so if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me. Probably email is the easiest way to get a hold of me. I do check email frequently, so that again, that's probably the easiest way. You can read the course description, then basically we'll do a lot of reading of children's literature, but it goes deeper than that, and thinking about how are you going to use the literature in your classroom. We're also going to be looking at integrating literature and art to help support your students learning the content standards. Here's the required text. If you haven't gotten it already, you need to do that as soon as possible. It's a very fast moving course, and so with only 5 weeks, you need to make sure that you keep up. The next page has the general information about the Department of Education, and you can see the purpose and the framework, which of course you really need to understand this framework as you get ready to give your STAR presentation towards the end of your program. And so take a minute to read through all the goals and the knowledge, skills, and dispositions. And then here are the specific learning outcomes for this course. And again, make sure that you read the outcomes. We won't do all 7 outcomes every week, but we'll focus on 2 or 3 outcomes per week. And then your essential questions. So as you're going through the course, think about these things. How are literature and art connected in an elementary classroom? How can teachers use literature to reach all students to support the enjoyment of literature and learning in content areas? And how does art enhance both children's literature and learning in the classroom? So again, be thinking about those as we go through the course. The next part of the syllabus is the course schedule and assignments. Each week in Moodle, there'll be details about what you do for the readings and the assignments, but you can always come back to the syllabus to get the general information. And so you can see, for example, week 1, the dates, a brief course outcomes and topics, what we'll be talking about, what your readings are, and then any forums, assignments, and so on. But I did want to again draw your attention to the Zoom session that will be on Tuesday, February 12th at 8 p.m. Make sure that you're on, and we'll go over just more details about what the course entails at that time, and answer any questions and so forth. So look through the course schedule and assignments. I would suggest maybe jotting things down in a calendar when assignments are due, and so on, because again, it is very fast paced. So you can look through all of those. Just a reminder, another Zoom session on Tuesday, March 5th at 8 p.m. And then in this course, we do have spring break in the middle of the course. Well, not in the middle, between week 4 and week 5. What I'm planning on doing is opening up week 5 at the beginning of spring break, and that way if you'd like to work on it you can, but it's not officially starting until March 18th. So we'll just handle spring break that way. Some of you may be going on a beach vacation and don't want to have anything to do with schoolwork during that week, while others think, oh, this is a good week for me to work. So it's a win-win then. All right. The next section of the syllabus outlines your course assignments, and you always want to look at the rubric and look at the assignment descriptions. Again, in Moodle you'll have more detail, but basically your attendance and participation grade is 20% of your grade. That includes all the Zoom sessions, the forums, the journals. All those things are part of your participation grade. Then the other assignments, major assignments, you have teacher interview, and I want you to go and talk to at least 3 elementary or could be middle school teachers to see how they use literature and art to help the students meet the standards in their classroom, and see between the different grade levels, Are there different ways of using the literature and so on? And then just write a 1 to 2 page summary paper about what you found out and what are your thoughts. How might you use it in your classroom? Then we have the reader response activity for wholes. We're all going to read the book wholes and then come up with a before, during, or after reading activity that will really pique students' interest and help motivate them and connect to the text. We'll do a genre chart. That will be done in a Google Doc so we can learn about all the different genres and share with each other. And then you'll have a culturally relevant text that you'll look at. You'll look at a text and evaluate it. Is it appropriate? Is it what it should be as far as representing a different culture and that sort of thing? The next two assignments are authors past and present and illustrators past and present. You'll choose 3 authors or 2 illustrators, and again this will be on a Google Doc so you can learn from each other. I really believe that we all learn from each other, and provide the necessary information so your classmates can go back and look through that. Your final project, you actually have 2. One is the concept exploration that you'll be doing the last week of class, and you'll take a concept from science, social studies, or math, and then how can literature and art, how can it support children learning that concept? And again, there'll be a lot more detail to follow. And then the portfolio entry is something that you'll be working on throughout the course. You want to be reading lots of children's literature and come up with touchstone examples of children's literature. And what I mean by that is quality. What are some great examples of the different genres? What's a great example of a picture book? What's a great example of a poetry text, a modern fantasy, and so on? So there's your touchstone examples. And again, you need to be reading the books throughout. It calls for 20 books, but of course you'll want to read more than that because you have to determine what are the great examples in each of those genres. And we'll separate it. You'll have an example for K2 and then one for 3-5. The next section is the assignments and grading just overview. It has all the dates right here. They're up above in the chart above, but they're all right here also. There's your grading, and then course policies, guidelines, and support. Basically, Times New Roman 12 font, honesty policy, and again, that includes plagiarism. And most time plagiarism is not intentional, but you forget to cite your source, so make sure you always cite your source. Late work, I always say that let's not even worry about it, just get everything in on time. But if you are late, it will be 10% off each day that you're late. Now, if something unusual happens, please contact me before it's due and let me know of the situation, and I can work with you. But if you don't, then the late work policy is 10% off each day it is late. If you need your papers after class is ended, let me know. I do want to point out the Maybe Learning Commons. We have a great library and a great library staff, so please make sure that you take full advantage of the library. They can help you with a lot of different things. Also part of the Maybe Learning Commons is the Academic Success Center. So if you need any additional help with tutoring, writing, then you might want to check them out. On that same line, there's online tutoring available, and of course accommodations for those who need it. The task stream, everybody should have an account, and you will upload your concept exploration to task stream. And then of course when the course is over, I ask you to do a course evaluation. It really helps me when I teach children's literature. Again, I always go back and I look at the comments and see what we can change, what we can make better, because I really want you to be able to understand a wide variety of literature and how to use it in your classroom. And then finally, just the Kansas Educator Code of Conduct. I say just, but it is very important as you're beginning a new professional career to keep those things in mind. So that's just a quick overview. Again, make sure you read it in its entirety and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for listening.